UFC Seattle is over. Here's my experience.
I see my haters proud of me now. When I'm around, it's all smiles. I took over my whole town.
This card by far is the card of the year so far. This card had 9 finishes out of 13 fights. I'm giving this card a 10 out of 10. I don't think it gets much better than this, but to kick this card off, we had Alexa Theranara taking on Bruno Brazil. And in this fight, Alexis has pretty much dominated the grappling part for the most of it. Bruno Brazil did hit some spinning attacks later in the fight that put Theranara in some real danger, but besides that, Theranara pretty much ran away with a unanimous decision win. Following that fight, we had an absolute banger with Adrian Yanez taking on Ricky Simón. This fight, Adrian Yanez dropped the first 2 rounds. I thought the first round was a little close, but nonetheless, the third round, Adrian Yanez looked like the fighter that everybody was talking about 2 to 3 years ago, that had fast hands with powerful intentions. With every punch that landed, it could be a knockout blow. This man, Ricky Simón, survived the last 30 seconds, getting absolutely battered by Adrian Yanez, and hopefully Adrian Yanez is able to come back relatively soon. But I think Ricky Simón's going to be out for a while, because I think I seen that he broke his orbital bone in his fight, but this fight ended up being a majority. Following that fight, we had one of light heavyweight's biggest prospects in the division right now. We had Navajo Sterling taking on Bruno Lopez. In this fight, Navajo Sterling continues to dominate as he continues his undefeated streak, and he gets his first UFC finish in a brutal fashion over Bruno Lopez. This fight was extremely fun to watch. Navajo Sterling is finally starting to catch his groove, which is wild to say because this man is undefeated in the UFC. I think this was his 4th fight, and this is his first finish, and he looks damn good in every single fight he's in, and I cannot wait to see what Navajo Sterling gets done next, because I think 205 is going to be a real danger whenever he comes into the top 15. Following that fight, we had Casey O'Neill taking on Gabriela Fernandez. In this fight, Casey O'Neill, after 2 years away from the octagon, came back and did not miss a beat, stopping Gabriela in the very first round with powerful punches. That referee probably could have stopped the 2-3 punches before that. But this woman, Casey O'Neill, is a very, very dangerous fighter, and I cannot wait to see what she does in the flyweight division, as she says she wants to be active this year. And to see fights like that, I can't imagine why she wouldn't be. And probably the craziest ending of the fight, and I mean ending by the judges being scored, this man Bruce Buffer made a rare mistake whenever he pronounced that Marcin Tybura had won the fight between him and Tyrell Fortune. This fight was a pretty good fight. The first 30 seconds of the fight, Tyrell Fortune showed that he is a true Division II wrestler, as he's able to dump Marcin Tybura pretty easily. But besides that, Tyrell Fortune landed the better shots, in my opinion. Marcin Tybura was able to stand there and pretty much take whatever he wanted to, but Tyrell Fortune is now in the top 10 in the UFC heavyweight rankings, and that is a huge jump up from where he was just fighting in the regional scene. Shout out Tyrell Fortune and Marcin Tybura. I think he'll be in the heavyweight division for a while. I mean, he's already had 20-something fights in the UFC. I don't think he's going anywhere. He's one of those staple guys in the division. But what did you guys think about Tyrell Fortune's UFC debut? Let me know. In the upset of the night, we had Lance Gibson Jr. taking on Chase Hooper. Seattle's own Chase Hooper went out there and got destroyed in the very first round, as Lance Gibson Jr. said, you know what, I might have lost to King Green. A lot of people have lost to King Green. He took that fight on short notice. Let me show you what I can do on a full camp versus somebody like a Chase Hooper, and it is very, very devastating striking compared to what Chase Hooper had. Gibson was able to land a beautiful knee to start this whole process off, and then after that, it just kept going, and he just didn't know where he was by the time he hit the ground. And Lance Gibson gets his first UFC win, and he also gets his first UFC finish, and that comes in the very first round versus a very talented Chase Hooper. In the fight of the night, we had Tofik Musayev taking on Ignacio Bahamondes, one of the more exciting fighters in this entire weight class. Bahamondes, I feel like he was robbed a little bit in this fight, but it's neither here or there. I mean, Ignacio was able to drop Tofik multiple times on the feet, but besides that, Tofik Musayev's ground and pound is absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. How he is able to generate that much power from that short of distance is insane, but he got away with a massive fence grab that I think changed the direction of the fight. He also headbutted him while he was on the ground, which is kind of crazy. But besides that, it was a really good win for Tufik Mosayev, his first UFC win. And I know Ignacio Bahamondes will be back and he will be better because that man is a very, very dangerous fighter in this weight class. But what did you guys think about the fight of the night? Let me know. Opening up the main card, we had Terrence T-Rex McKinney taking on the Canadian Kyle Nelson. And Terrence McKinney, he continues to do it every single time. He goes out there and starches Kyle Nelson in the very first round within the first 30 seconds of the fight. Terrence McKinney is the most exciting fighter in this weight class. Win, lose, or draw. I say win, lose, or draw. He hasn't been to a decision yet. So this man, I'm glad he's back in the UFC for a while. And I think this little section was longer than his fight. Shout out to Terrence McKinney. Following that fight, we had Yusuri Belgalri taking on Mansour Abdul Malik in a battle of 185 pounders that I thought was going to be an absolute banger, and it was not. Yusuri was able to absolutely blast through Mansour Abdul Malik. I mean, Mansour Abdul Malik in this fight, if you cannot get that man Yusuri on the ground and keep him there, it's going to be a long time for anybody in the middleweight division, especially, I want to say about 95% of the roster is going to have trouble with Yusuri on the feet because that man is 6'5" and he know how to use it inside the octagon. He just kept Mansour Abdul Malik at range and was tearing him up the entire time. And that finishing sequence with that knee was absolutely brutal. I do think Mansour Abdul Malik will be back. He's too talented of an athlete not to be, but that man Yusuri is a problem in the 185-pound weight division, and I cannot wait to see what he does next. What did you Following that fight, we had Lehian Douglas taking on Julian Erosa. In this fight, Lehian said, you know what, I hit harder than you, I'm probably faster than you, and we can sit here and throw it until one of us falls. And the person that ended up falling was Julian Erosa. This fight was extremely fun for however long it lasted. I don't think Julian Erosa hurt him at all, but Lehian hits like an absolute truck, as I seen with his fight with Cam Tig, and in this fight right now, and another first round finish on the UFC Seattle card. Following that fight, we had the vets taking on each other. We had Michael Chiesa, the former tough winner, taking on Nico Price. Both these guys have been longtime UFC vets, but Michael Chiesa made his retirement fight like a movie. He was able to get in and out of there with under 2 minutes, and the finish sequence probably took under 30 seconds or 30 seconds in the hole. He took him down, he slammed him down, took his back, choked him out. It was like a practice drill for him. Michael Chiesa was able to retire in his hometown with a first round submission, and Michael Chiesa looked damn good in this fight, but he is retired now. Well, I'm pretty sure we're still going to see him around the UFC at the analyst desk and stuff like that. So shout out Michael Chiesa and shout out Nico Price for retiring from the UFC. The co-main event of the night, we probably had one of the scariest finishes of the year so far. We had Alexa Grasso taking on Macy Barber, and in this fight, Alexa Grasso said, I'm the better boxer here. I mean, you can stand if you want to, and Macy Barber thought she was going to be able to catch Alexa Grasso coming in, and she wasn't, as Alexa Grasso absolutely floored Macy Barber, and then went for the choke. That was absolutely scary. Macy Barber with her eyes open like that on the octagon floor for like 2 to 3 minutes was kind of scary, but I'm glad she's okay now. But Alexa Grasso showed that she is a former champion for a reason, and she absolutely starches Macy Barber and snaps her 7-fight win streak definitively and very, very violently. In the main event of the night, we had Joe Pyfer versus one of the greatest middleweight champions of all time, Israel Adesanya, and this has been the story of the last 3 Izzy fights. He looks fantastic in the first round, and then the second round, I'm not sure why he chose to brawl with somebody like Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer, who hits like a Mack truck, but you can't do that with somebody like him. But the finishing sequence, I think Izzy was going to be okay if it went on for a little bit longer, but he wasn't moving, so I cannot really blame the ref for the way he stopped the fight. I would have too. I mean, you take that many unanswered shots to the head without moving, it's kind of a done deal. but Joe Pyfer is able to finish IOU TA in the second round of the fight. I'm not really sure what Izzy does after this. He said he's not done yet, but I think they're going to start trying to use him as a resume builder. But Joe Pyfer is now in the UFC top 5 at middleweight. Who does he get next? I'm not really sure. I think a DDP fight would be extremely fun to watch. But UFC Seattle was a banger through and through. And shout out to Demetrius Johnson for getting introduced into Hall of Fame. A little overdue, but better late than never. Shout out to Demetrius Johnson. This UFC Seattle card was an absolute banger. And I'm so glad I was able to watch it. What did you guys think about this card? Let me know your biggest surprise of the night. Let me know the biggest, oh, that was going to happen another night. Mine was Terrence McKinney knocking out Kyle Nelson that fast. Kind of crazy. But what did you guys think about this? Let me know. As always, leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. Be good people.